Alright guys, what is up? It is me, Trace here, and we are back for my next playthrough. Obviously you guys have been following along. If you guys saw my most recent video, I said that my next playthrough is going to be the sequel to Alan Wake 2. Um, so we're pretty much just going to go ahead and jump right into it. Let me just make sure that all the settings are correct. Um, let's see here. Controls good. All that's good. Audio. It's good. Interface. Here we go. Subtitles. Do speaker names, subtitles. Do I just do large subtitles? Um, do signage subtitles too. Um, I think we're all good. We're gonna do. So there's three different difficulties you can do. You can do story mode, combat will not pose a challenge, focus on mystery solving and exploration. Normal difficulty, challenging combat using items and conserving resources required for survival. And a hard difficulty, significantly challenging combat, leveraging items and familiarity with game mechanics is essential for survival. We're just going to do normal difficulty. See how this goes.
Back to the beginning. We all come to a story with hopes and expectations, looking for an answer. Sometimes it would be better to live with that hope without ever knowing the full story. In a horror story, there are only victims and monsters. And the trick is not to end up as either. But trapped by the genre, we are all ripped to pieces along the way. This is not the story I hoped it would be. This is not the ending I wanted. This story will eat us alive. This story is a monster. And monsters wear many faces.
Sorry, I'm adjusting the volume here on my headset. Alright. So it's like the same controls so far. Left stick to move, right stick to rotate the camera.
Can you hear me?
Come on, we should go.
Already gone.
Oh! Talk about going crazy. Okay, so hold L3 to sprint. Oh. Well, okay then. Up this way. Yeah, there's a light over there. My saviors have arrived. Oh, you're not my saviors. And he's dead. That guy must have just gotten out of the dark place, or unless this is a dark place. Alan Wake 2.
Hey, kiddo. How are you?
I'm good, Mom. How are you?
This trip might take a little longer than I thought. I'm sorry I've been gone so much lately, Logan.
Oh my god, Mom, it's not your fault people get all murdery. What happened?
Just work stuff.
Right. Well, Dad and I are just watching the latest episode of Night Springs here. Mom, it's so good.
No spoilers!
Duh.
I'll let you get back to the show. You were supposed to wait and watch with me. I love you both.
This is what happens when you go on work trips, Mom. Love you too. And say hi to Casey. Tell him to stop brooding so much.
Logan? I will. Bye, kiddo. Logan thinks you should try cheering up.
Snarky kid. Wonder where she gets that from.
Graphics really good so
It
far.
can't be a coincidence that another body turns up just as we arrive in town. Feels like the killer's leaving us a message.
I'm glad you're on this case with me, Anderson. It's right up your alley. You should take lead. Think of me as the backup.
Okay. Any words of advice?
Nothing that would cheer anyone up. Here we are. Cauldron Lake.
Time to get to work.
Alright.
A deputy was supposed to be here to show us to the crime scene. There's the car, so where's the deputy?
Eaten by a bear? I'll check out that map.
Return 1, invitation. Alright, get to the crime scene and find the deputies.
Memorizing before we get swallowed up by the trees.
Alright. So we're here. I don't think it'll obviously show us on the map where the crime scene is. Yeah.
I think I hear someone. Could be our deputy.
I can go take a look.
Hey, over here. Hey there. Agent Casey, right? Sheriff Breaker said you'd be coming by to take over the case.
You're half right. Anderson?
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot. Sorry about that, ma'am. I'm Deputy Mulligan. I just figured that, you know, that...
Alex Casey from... Okay, that... Yeah. Okay, I'm already making sense of this. So this is the story that Alan was writing at the end of the DLC from the last episode, the second DLC chapter. This is his next like follow-up story that he's writing to try to get himself out of the dark place. So this is pretty much his storybook that he's writing. Obviously Alex Casey is the main character of the storyline, but it seems like maybe Saga is either his partner or Saga is the main character of this novel. But I'm kind of seeing what they're doing here.
Federal agents right here, Thornton. My partner, Thornton, down at the crime scene. He's not what you call the sharpest axe in the shed.
Right here? What do you mean? Are they with you? Oh, shit! They didn't hear me, did they?
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, a couple out-of-towners. I wonder what they were doing sneaking around the woods at night.
Mention the city folk. It's pretty suspicious.
Not that we have anything against city folk, right, Thornton? But don't worry. Sheriff Breaker took them back to town a while ago.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple. Just through the hole in the fence, down the hill towards the lake, around the old convenience store. You can't miss it. Everything's been closed since the area was fenced off. The store, the campground, all of it.
Hey, Mulligan, tell them I'm here, waiting. I'll show them around.
They got it, Thornton.
Alright.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly. I need to think through the facts of the case.
That's... Here we go.
Everything we know about the previous murder.
Alright.
Worth taking another look.
The case board is a mental technique that allows Saga to analyze clues and progress the investigation. You're now free to navigate the case board or lead by pressing circle. Victims. All victims reported missing in 2010. No other commonalities. Sorry. We have Ted Lane. This victim was reported missing in 2010, discovered in 2012, buried in a shallow grave. Let me actually... The text is kind of small, so I can barely see it, and I don't think I can zoom in any further. We have Ted Lane, dentist, stab wounds, bloating, bruising on the wrist. Wendy Davis, teacher, body bloated, large chest wound. She was found in Cauldron Lake in 2018. Some organs missing, predation. State of the body does not match 8 years spent in a lake. And then we have Percy Wolf. He's a store owner with bruising. His heart was removed and he had strange tattoos on him. Found 2 weeks ago. Chest wound was ruled as cause of death. Tattooing on the body is illegible. Murder method. Slight difference in murders. Bloating only commonality in bodies, but not cause of death. Chest trauma. Exposure to water post-mortem. Alright, so looks like Ted had bruising on wrists and his legs. Wendy had a deep gash in the chest and her heart was missing. And Percy, all the bodies experienced bloating. It's the only connection, really. Killer profile. Post-mortem tattooing of the body. The murder targets have no discernible common traits. Chest trauma resembles animal butchery techniques. A series of murders have occurred around the town of Bright Falls. Finding the connections will help out search for the killer. 2 of the victims had bruising in some form, were strapped or belted down. Most recent victim died of major chest trauma, consistent with 2018 victim, hard to confirm due to condition of body. Bloating of the corpse is indicative of drowning, but only 1 victim was found in water. Victim number 3 was covered in illegible tattoos, a message from the killer maybe, or their art. Apart from going missing in 2010, the victims have nothing apparent in common. Killer may be a sportsman or hunter. Okay, so I gotta talk to someone for that. Is that everything I can look at here? I think so. My cursor is got away from me. There we go. A series of murders have occurred around the town of Bright Falls. Finding the connections will help our search for the killer. Okay. Okay. Visiting the mine place is not part of the game, so be mindful of nearby threats.
Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled. I don't want to slow you down.
Are you thinking of retiring? You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Mm-hmm. Real funny, Anderson.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that old. Whoa.
Mirror Peak. The mighty mountain in the distance is no other than Mirror Peak, the iconic landmark overlooking Cauldron Lake. From the right angle, its beauty will be reflected on the calm surface of the lake, mirrored in all its inverted glory.
Fucking nature. Gives me a headache. There's too much sky.
Not a bad place to get murdered.
If getting back to nature is your thing.
Damn. Should have brought an umbrella.
I like the rain. The only thing around here that feels like home.
You think the local law had the sense to put up a tarp?
If they did, next coffee's on me.
Can I make it, Mulligan?
General Store, Cauldron Lake.
Deputy Thornton, I take it.
That's me, at your service, ready to get this case solved. Now the body's behind the store. Come on, I'll show you. So, FBI, huh? That's so cool. Hunting down psycho serial killers and shootouts with the mob?
You forgot the UFO cover-ups.
What? Those are real? You guys hiring?
Bond is joking.
Let's just see this body, shall we?
Now this is the scene of the crime. We found him on the table. Now he didn't touch nothing, you know, procedures and stuff.
Thanks, Deputy.
No tarp. You owe me a coffee.
Okay, let's start by examining our guest of honor.
All
Does
right.
this fit the MO of the previous murders? Body is positioned on the table. Ritualistic.
You unlock your first key image. You can place it on the caseboard inside the mind place.
The Mind Place. My version of the Mind Palace technique. To sift through clues and work the case. Building the Mind Place again for each case. Using each field office as a model in my head. The facts are on the board.
Up on the D-pad, allow Saga to see active clues. The key image can be selected with X and placed on the caseboard.
Another body turns up just as we arrive in town. Coincidence?
Placing a key image on the caseboard begins a new line of investigation. Another body has been found in the woods near Bright Falls. Perfect timing. Need to see if this is linked to the killings. We're here to investigate. When a key image is placed, it'll prompt a new question. Objectives are viewable with the caseboard and your goals. You're now free to examine the caseboard or leave to complete this objective. Find evidence that makes it consistent with previous murders. Okay. Alright.
Bruising on the wrist from the cargo straps holding him down. Incised stab wound. Chest cut open. Heart removed. The killer left the heart right next to the body.
Alright. There we go.
Doesn't look right.
There we go.
Heart removed from chest, strapped by the wrists. Definitely matches the previous murders. But this time the heart and the straps were left behind. More clues to work with. This makes 4 murders that we know about.
The clues to resolve the open question and unlock the deduction. As you advance the investigation, new questions will be unlocked, updating your goals. You can check the updated goals by pressing triangle. Learn more about the victim and more about the killer. You're now free to examine the... Yeah, okay. Murder matches previous cases, but interrupted. May find some new leads this time. So now we gotta find clues on the victim and clues on the killers. Okay.
Who is our victim? Who killed him? Need to find more clues. Large amount of blood on the table. The victim died here. Multiple people were here. Multiple killers? Someone left in a hurry. Knocked the tripod over. Was it for a camera? Someone was drinking beer. They spent time here, waiting.
Alright. So we have multiple sets of footprints, heavy blood splatter. So the victim probably left behind this blood splatter. There we go. Okay.
Footprints indicating multiple killers. Quite the
Multiple
party.
assailants present, messy scene, crime of passion, premeditated. Excuse me, sorry. What else have we got here?
I'm gonna go check something out. Be right back.
Got it.
Locked. They really don't want people coming in here. Any idea who the victim is?
Oh, I sure do. His name is Nightingale. He was FBI.
Nightingale.
Came to town about 13 years ago. Now, I haven't heard a word about him since. Well, until now.
Nightingale? Robert Nightingale?
Oh, yes. You probably knew him. Brothers in arms. Oh, and sisters.
So you knew our victim.
Well, I didn't recognize him in his current state. But yeah, I ran into him a few times at Quantico. Never worked any cases together. After his partner got killed in the field, he went off the deep end. Got the boot pretty quick after that.
Happened if he got fired.
So what happened to Nightingale after the Bureau let him go?
I only know the rumors. Depression led to booze, booze led to paranoia. He got some wild ideas in his head, chased ghosts until he fell off the map. Guess he ended up here,
I bet there's more to that story.
but no happy ending.
So he's been missing since 2010.
Nightingale went missing 13 years ago. 2010.
The same as all the other victims.
Certainly fits the pattern. Makes me wonder what was going on that year.
Probably something this town wants to forget.
Alright, so now we have more we can add to the case board. So, the victim is Robert Nightingale. No one's heard from this guy in 13 years. Why surface now? Where's he been?
Oh, I sure do. His name is Nightingale. He was FBI. He came to town about 13 years ago. Now, I haven't heard a word about him since. Well, until now.
Nightingale went off the deep end and the FBI fired him.
Robert Nightingale, ex-FBI, came to Bright Falls 13 years ago.
Victim ID'd as Robert Nightingale, former FBI agent, mental state questionable at time of disappearance. Core and beer bottles nearby and tripod found near body. Say premeditated or spontaneous. Looks new, brought by the killers. Why? To mount a camera. Weird snuff film.
They planned for the murder to happen here, passing the time with equipment ready. They were waiting for him. But why Nightingale? He's been missing for 13 years. Why here? Why now?
Victim came from where?
Profiling. Get into the subject's head. See what they saw. Feel what they felt. Use whatever I know about them to guide my intuition to a revelation. Piece it together.
You can use profiling inside Saga's mind place to get inside the heads of suspects and victims. I want to read what that thing just added onto it. Killers wanted for victim, brought equipment, murder was premeditated, but what was Nightingale doing out here? Okay. Using her intuition, Saga can discover new clues by profiling people of interest. Missing person and ritual murder.
Agent Nightingale has been MIA for 13 years. How did he end up here?
Up from the lake that's not a lake. It's dark. He was there too. You are not allowed in the lake until he says otherwise.
Robert Nightingale came from the lake before his murder. Nightingale was chosen as the victim. Why?
Flick the switch. It goes click. Lights are off. But somebody's home. Somebody's home.
This wasn't some random act of violence. This was a ritual. And Nightingale a component. They didn't see him as a person. More like a container for something.
So you gotta profile the victim. Nightingale came from Cauldron Lake. I can feel that Nightingale came from the lake, but why now after 13 years? Where's he been?
Up from the lake that's not a lake. It's dark. He was there too. You are not allowed in the lake until he says otherwise.
Alright. Oop. Check the lakeshore.
The lake is connected to Nightingale somehow. Casey, let's take a look down by the lake. Lead the way.
Sounds good. This way, right?
Right.
Okay, well, I'll just wait here.
I was going the complete wrong way. It's a good thing that Alex knew where to go.
This one of your hunches, Anderson? Something happened at the lake?
I think Nightingale came up from that direction. From the lake. Probably looking for shelter. Safety. They were waiting for him.
When you're ready, I'd love to hear what you put together so far.
Sure. It's not that complicated. Nightingale was out in the woods alone at night, possibly nude. The killers knew he was here, ambushed him, dragged him to the campgrounds, strapped him to the table, cut his heart out. But then they were interrupted by those witnesses, the Bookers. The job is unfinished.
That seems pretty complicated to me. What was
Thing
this
up
guy
here.
doing skinny dipping at this time of year?
Haven't figured that part out yet.
Lots of questions.
Lots of answers for us to find.
Witch's Ladle, Cauldron Lake.
No trees got that big. Gives me the creeps.
You need to get out more. It is kind of creepy, though. Tracks. Barefoot. Nightingales? They come out from under the boulder.
It makes no sense.
There's a piece of paper on the ground. A page full of text on one side. Not a printout. Written with a typewriter. Old school.
Alan's writing?
Lines scratched out and edits added with a pen.
Like a manuscript. front page of a story. Killer left a message.
It's for us. The text is about us. The victim was one of their own. FBI Special Agent Robert Nightingale. And then there was the page they found. The first step down into terrifying depths.
Reading
the words.
These words felt like a message.
Yep.
Someone knew they were here. Someone playing a game with them. An invitation. How could they not accept?
Even if they knew it would end up hurting them. Someone's been watching us.
Playing a sick game with us.
You were right. This is right up my alley. Nightingale came this way. A witch with no heart. A strange echo of Al murder.
There is no mystery in Cauldron Lake being named after its cauldron shape, and yet there are many mysterious stories about the lake, it being a gloomy doorway to an underworld or of a witch whose cauldron the lake really was. The legend tells that when the affections of a local sheriff went unanswered, he accused the lady in question of having bewitched him. She was drowned, but her dropped ladle grew into a strange tree named Witch's Ladle. The woman returned to avenge her wrongdoers. If she was not a witch before, she was one now. She killed the sheriff, drowning him in the lake. Then she took out his heart and locked it in a box. With the heart, she would summon him from the lake to exact revenge on her behalf, or so the legend goes. And that's the woman from the first game, the villain.
The victim was one of their own. FBI Special Agent Robert Nightingale, gone missing here 13 years ago. Now he had suddenly turned up, only to be murdered in a brutal ritual on the very day of their arrival. And then there was the page. This page, the first page that they had found, not the last. The first step down into terrifying depths. Secret truths trembling beyond the threshold. Reading the words, these words, felt like a message. Was a message. Someone knew they were here, what they were doing. Someone playing a game with them, leading them on. An invitation. How could they not accept? The sheer audacity of this impossible mystery presented to them, even if they knew it would end up hurting them.
I really like how they're connecting the two storylines together. That's really cool.
We
Page.
found a page in the woods. A story about these events. What is Nightingale's role in this?
I carry his words close to my chest now. Inside, the awful truth. You must dig it out.
Something was put inside him. In his chest. I must find out what.
Alright.
I think he came from the lake. But his tracks make no sense.
Too many unknowns doesn't make sense, asking wrong questions. Nightingale has something hidden inside him.
Found all I can here. Time to properly examine the body. See what I can find inside.
Learned all I can here, need to get body back to town for examination. So the killer is watching us, game on. There's more going on here that I'm seeing. I need to examine this body properly back in town.
Casey,
Okay.
I think something's been put inside Nightingale's body. Let's tell the deputies to get the body to the town morgue.
Okay.
Whoever wrote that page made sure it read like a story. Like a scene from a thriller.
I hate all of it. The text said we'd find more. I believe it.
But what's the purpose? They're twisting events to create their own narrative. To do what? Entertain some fantasy? Projecting their desires? Are we characters or the audience? Witnesses to their design? All the above?
It's all about control. Deciding what happens to who. Don't let it drag you in.
Too late. I'm already hooked. I need the next chapter.
Hey, you made it back. Good. I hope you didn't get stuck in any of those big puddles. Crazy flooding down there, huh? Just like I said.
Deputy, I want the body taken back to town for a proper examination ASAP.
Well, sure, but the coroner won't be back in town for another week after Deerfest.
Not a problem. I'll do it myself.
Oh, and Sheriff Breaker called to say he's got the Bookers at the Oh Deer Diner in town. Oh, and I've got a key to the gate. It's a shortcut back to the parking lot just up the hill.
Well, this should be interesting.
Thanks.
Oops.
Let's get the car, drive to Bright Falls, and talk to these witnesses, the Bookers.
At the diner, right? I could use a cup of coffee.
Let's try that shortcut the deputy mentioned.
Sounds good.
Alright.
Seems like a nice town so far. Murders aside. Pretty woods. Cute lodge we got set up in. We should go for a hike if we get a chance.
Now you're just being mean, Anderson.
Deputies aren't exactly up to the task, but hopefully the sheriff will be more helpful.
Not a surprise about the deputies. Doubt they see much stuff this gruesome.
Can't fit the clues all together yet. Heart removed, tripod, tracks leading to a dead end.
A tripod? For a camera? To record a snuff film?
Maybe. And why take out his heart just to throw it away?
To stuff in something for us to find.
The fact that the key works for both locks. Not just one key for one lock. I was stuck there for a second. That was weird.
Here we are. Let's drive back to town and meet the sheriff at the diner. I can't get that manuscript page out of my head. I've never seen killers reach out so directly before.
Damn impressive work so far. With your technique, these hunches were moving fast.
I wasn't sure about taking a case so far from home, but I'm thrilled to be here for this mystery. Need to swing by the lodge to get anything from the field office?
No, I'm all set.
I'll park there anyway. I want to walk to the diner, get a feel for the town.
All right.
The diner's just up the waterfront. Shouldn't keep the sheriff and our witnesses waiting.
I smell coffee.
Just how much coffee have you had today, Charlie? Don't know, don't care. How much have you had? Not enough. That's all right.
Oh dear. You.
me guess. The FBI. Welcome to Bright Falls. It's nice to have you here. I got you both some coffee. Oh, it's Washington's finest.
Nice to meet you, Sheriff. I'm set for coffee.
You know, I wouldn't say no to another.
I'm Agent Saga Anderson. This is Agent Alex Casey.
Tim Breaker. And let me just say, I'm happy you two are here. Frankly, we could use the help.
Your deputies said you had a couple of witnesses here.
They made them sound like suspects.
Mulligan and Thornton are still on about that? No, the Bookers don't strike me as the murdering type, but you can decide for yourselves. They're just inside having coffee and pie to calm their nerves.
I'll see what they have to say. Casey, you compare notes with the sheriff.
Take your time.
Alrighty.
Can't believe that happened. Still feel like I'm gonna be sick.
Come on, Ed. Have some pie.
Excuse me. I'm Agent Saga Anderson. Are you the Bookers?
That's us. I'm Tammy, and he's Ed.
Hello, officer.
Just Saga is fine, Ed.
So, are we being charged with anything? Because if not, we'd love to get back to our hotel and decompress after what we saw. Take a bath, scream into pillows, that kind of thing.
We're not charging you. I just have a few questions. Nothing to stress about, okay? So what did you see in the woods?
They're the ones that found
naked dude
the
came out of
sacrifice
lake,
happening.
And he was acting crazy, shouting weird shit at us. He must have been on something.
Unless skinny dipping at dawn is a thing around here.
Then we heard shooting. We ran into these psychos in deer masks. They were tearing into the naked guy with knives, like some kind of satanic cult. And then we bolted and called the cops.
Or were you at Cauldron Lake?
What were you doing at Cauldron Lake last night?
I'm a writer. True crime. We're here from New York, doing some research on a famous novelist, Alan Wake, who went missing here. I was down at the lake, getting some details. Perfectly legal.
So then, now I'm thinking here. So either, like before, like the story from the first game where he didn't remember writing that story, and he was sort of a character in his own story, I'm curious if this is actually really happening, and they know about Alan Wake going missing, or Alan, this is, like my theory was before, this is Alan's story that he's writing, and he implemented himself into this story as well. Just a couple theories I have. It's intriguing so far.
What makes you say it was a cult?
The masks and knives aren't enough.
They were shouting, "Cult of the tree, the cult of the tree, cult of the tree." Oh, and then we found out. The whole thing was terrifying. That's all.
We have something new for the profiling. Cult of the Tree.
The Cult of the Tree. What are the Bookers telling me?
I found their necklace. The symbol is 2 triangles.
The cult wants their spruce tree bag, Tammy.
Finders keepers, Ed. My publisher will want this on the cover.
Tammy found something. A necklace belonging to one of the cultists. The Bookers were at Cauldron Lake. Why?
The fence was built to hide what's there. They say the rider fell in the lake.
Private party. No trespassing.
My book has questions. Past the bolt cutters.
They broke in for the sake of Tammy's book. Nothing to do with the murder. They were telling the truth.
Oh, there we go. I was like,
We're dealing with an organized group of killers, not a lone serial killer.
Not a serial killer, organized group working with purpose, ritualistic murders.
The cult of the tree is behind these murders. This case just became much more complicated. I'll need to start a new file. But it's my first cult case. Exciting.
Cult of the tree. Background cases accumulate clues about broader ongoing topics.
I need to know more about the cult of the tree if I'm going to shut them down.
Okay. Cultists are wearing deer masks. If they're hiding their faces, they aren't established enough to operate openly, connecting to Deerfest. Alright.
So you found something there, right? A necklace these cultists may have dropped.
Okay. Wow. How did you put that together?
It's evidence. You need to hand it over.
Told you not to keep that thing, Tammy.
What's that, a badge?
Thanks. This could prove to be helpful. Do me a favor. Stick around town for now in case we have any more questions.
Like we'd even dream of missing Deerfest.
Oh God. Saga Anderson. As I live and breathe.
Who's this chick?
I thought we'd never see you back here after that awful, awful thing happened to your baby girl. How are you? I'm sorry. Who are you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's me, silly. Rose. You know me.
I don't think I do. And what horrible thing happened to my baby girl?
She drowned. Your daughter. That's so weird you don't remember.
How do you know I have a daughter?
Huh.
Oh, I know what this is. You're blocking out your traumatic memories.
What the
Happens
shit?
on TV all the time.
No. You're mistaking me for someone else.
If you say so.
Huh. Interesting. So now we can go back to the case board. Sorry. Now we can add this to our board here.
Keep trying.
Okay, it's not Nicole Goal. Not Nicole. People involved. There we go. Okay. All right.